morning, folks. Welcome to another segment of Power Play Garage. That's right, got to get the point across. If you all would give me a like, make a comment, and subscribe, that'd be awesome. This week is a little bit of a juggling act. That's okay. It's not something I'm not used to. Sometimes it can be a little frustrating, but you move along, get through it. It wouldn't be a job if it wasn't a little frustrating. So the few things I'm going to point out. Today is Tuesday, so yesterday I worked on two vehicles, the coupe because she is back, and I did say it was coming back so that we can finish up some other details, and it'll be going to another event. But that one's no big deal as far as making sure she's running and doing all the other stuff that she should be doing, because a lot of the major things have been taken care of. So at the same time, I have a good client. I've done a lot of work to this car, and I'm doing some cosmetic stuff, paintwork wise. So I'm going to show you that too as I scratch my head, because I'm trying to think. This is how I think. Yeah, this is how I get her done. Sure I do. But anyway, I had to make a custom part for the coupe. The coupe, there it is, up in the air. I had to add a pulley for the AC belt to make sure that the belt wouldn't hit the corner of the front fender. And I did. I made it out of aluminum. I like working with aluminum. I like welding it. I don't do a bad job. I do a pretty decent job. And the more I do it, the better I get. I understand the physics of it. So, like I said, I enjoy doing it. So I had to make this custom bracket kind of wide out to give the pulley some support so it wouldn't move up or down, had some strength behind it, and did the job it's supposed to be doing, and it is. So between doing that and getting the body to sit on the frame the way it need to for the doors to function properly, got that taken care of. Did a little bit of adjustment on the front nose there a little bit where the radiator is, but we will be changing out the fan. It needs more of a draw. So the client ordered another fan. Maybe they'll be coming here this afternoon with her, and we can get that started. We got a reservoir for an overflow reservoir because it needs one. I've been doing a lot of things, and here comes Miss Puss in Boots. Yep, she hears me talking. There she is, making her way. Yeah, she made her debut last night as I was working on the 68 Roadrunner. She hopped right up in there in the engine bay and pointed some things out. So I took care of it. I posted pictures on my Instagram page, which is Radical Curves 157 on Instagram. So if you want to check that out, that'd be awesome. But anyhow, I'm going to show you some of what I did there, and then I'm going to take you out and show you the 68 Roadrunner that I got started on yesterday, very early evening. So, and then I worked on to the evening. So let's get started. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. I got a light. I'm going to need a light. This might be the perfect light for it. There's two pulleys side by side. The black one, which the light hopefully is on, which is attached to that aluminum bracket. Hopefully you can see that. Turn a little sideways. I think I can see it. Yep. It bolts there at the bottom of the block. It's one end, and then the other end shoots up and goes to where the bracket for the other adjustment, the hell is that called? Nevertheless, my brain is going blank here for the second. That's okay. But she's working really well. She keeps the belt far away from the fender, and if the car was down, I'd be able to show you that. But that's just one of the things we had to take care of, and It was a little frustrating, especially towards the end, because I had to put the bracket in without the pulley and then put the pulley on afterwards, which is very tight in there. It worked out. I did get frustrated. I am normal. I do get a little upset with certain things, especially when you're cutting up your hands. It doesn't feel good. But anyway, we're going to move on to the main event, and that is this beautiful 68 Plymouth Roadrunner that I got started on it last night. Yeah, the sail panel needed to be addressed. There was a spot there that had to be taken care of, and there's some other things up through here that I'm going to address a little bit, and then even across the top here, same thing. And I think there's a couple of spots that need to be addressed, and I'm going to try to do my best in taking care of these little things. But you got to worry about the blending because I'm not painting the whole quarter section and redo the Plymouth, not at least not on this side. And then there was some bubbling because of heat. There she is. There she goes. She was just scratching. But anyway, there's some stuff because of the heat problem he had in the beginning when I met him. So I'm going to fix that. You could see the fine line tape, pinstripe like tape, and then the masking over that. I'm going to cover the black. I've got more to do. I will be sanding this, flattening this out, fixing whatever has to be fixed in there. And then when it's all said and done, I will be replacing the Plymouth after I put them on. He made a little boo-boo. Not going to get into that, but I'm going to change it. I got one, so I'll change it. And then I'll just wash it up a little bit, make it look clean. And I'm going to move along. So hopefully I'll have a lot of this. I want to have this done hopefully before the week's out. I need to get it in and out because he wants to take it to the turkey rod run. Right, Puss in Boots? Yeah, he was scheduled a while ago. And I won't be forgetting of this. Yep, this is also a project. The engine's out. I've been cleaning. I did a video on this one, and I'll be getting back on this one as well. So I got my hands full, which is fine. And let me get back to this. And once I have more done on this, I'll chime back in. So stand by. All right, I'm back. I want to show off my t-shirt. YouTube, Power Play Garage, Cranky, Skull, Wrenches, back. Gotta show it off. What the heck? But anyway, back to reality. Reality is, I'm definitely moving along, prepping it. Yep, decided to go down the A-pillar. That'll all get cleared because there was not more than a chip right in that area, but I actually filled it in with color, red color. I would assume to think when they changed the seal, the gasket for the windshield, that might have happened. Stuff like that, it's kind of common. That's kind of hard to avoid. They did an awesome job, though. I will give them credit for that. So also, I'm trying to do a little tiny repair, and I did sand her out, but I'm filling it with color. Put a few layers on there. It's kind of a weird spot, because here's the corner, the edge. Got to try to blend without getting into the whole quarter, which I am not doing. But as I, sand along, you notice some stuff. It might be hard to pick up. The orange peel that was, that was left on the car. It's not heavy. It's not really bad or anything, but, and then you got some, whether you want to call it a fisheye or solvent pop. It's kind of, I don't know if you can actually see it. It's right there. There was a few of them on here. I already sanded them out. But where do you stop? Because I'm not painting or clearing the whole roof. That's not happening. Nah, I ain't doing that. Because then it follows over to the sail panel, to the top of the quarter. No, that ain't happening. I ain't got time for that. But anyhow, I am doing my magic, hopefully magic. After I'm done doing a little bit more sanding on that, I'm going to move along to the hood, paper this off, that part over there off, and fix the bubbles. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, maybe a little bit you could see. It's a pretty decent size area. But that'll get fixed. That's from the heat and whatever else is on that center strip. But moving along, I'm going to see if this is flat enough to where I can either sand it, but first I'm going to take a razor blade flat. One of the little tricks that has been learned many moons ago. It's how I fixed, or I should say filled in. Heck, where was it? No, I don't even see it anymore. That's how well I repaired it. Well, there was a gouge that was in the side here, somewhere around here. I'm not really sure. Somewhere. But anyhow, it went past the clear and through the color, most of the color. And it was probably, it was a little bit longer than the razor blade and maybe as wide as just the blade itself, not counting the little, I don't know, metal framing on it that was in this area. And what I did was I mixed up some clear, a little more hardener than, I probably was a 1-to-1 mix so that it would set up faster. And I just kept brushing it on, filling it in with the brush. And I put a few layers on it. And then the next day, like I did that Sunday, and then Monday I took the razor blade over it and I scraped it. That's pretty much how you can do it. You take the razor blade and you just work it. You kind of feather it and flatten it. But also I would suggest putting a little bit of tape on the corners. Do about 1/4 of an inch on either side so that this way you're not digging in the corners on it. So I don't want to put tape on there. I don't need it on there. I probably will, because the way this is curved, well, yeah, I will need actually to put some tape on this corner because I'm going to want to, scrape it, flatten it, make sure I get it flat. So this way, when I go to put a little color on there, when I go to shoot the color, it'll all look even. It's kind of how I handle that because I'm not getting into it. Like I said, I'm not painting the quarter, not necessary. I just wanted to fix that chip for him that was there. It was kind of a crack, more of a crack with a little bit of paint missing. So I took air to it, and probably you could see this shinier metal, probably about from my fingernail forward. That whole section was what was missing. So I sanded it pretty good, feathered it out, and now I'm filling it. So once I get moving along and I got all this stuff covered, I'll chime back in. So stand by. Alrighty. I'm already starting to repair and prep the hood. I've also took the liberty of actually covering the engine with similar sheet like whatever, and then I stuffed this all through here, even though there's paper underneath there. And I also stuffed the towel up in there. Just a major precaution. I will be covering the rest of it, but I want to make sure that I can paint underneath here, that part of the hood, along with the rest of it. So the next step is going to be when I'm done doing some sanding, cover the rest in plastic. There was a little divot here that I couldn't get out without going too far, and I just got done sanding it. It was right there. Now it's nice and even, and it's the same color as the car, so when I shoot and blend the color in, it'll be beauteous. And this is the final fill-in on that, so I will sand that flat and even, and then prep this area here for a little bit of blend, hopefully, and get the rest of it to be the way it needs to be, and then further investigate the area and see if I see any black from the thing that the fellow was doing to make the car look pretty. But anyhow, this is the scoop, moving along, and once we get to that point, I'll chime back in, so stand by. Okay, I'm back, and I got basically got all the sanding and prepped, and it's ready to go as far as sanding wise goes. I have, let's say half of it covered. All the important areas are definitely covered, as you can see. I might be able to spray the color tomorrow. We're going to see how the weather is, but as I point down there, that excess, once I take it down to the concrete, I'll take the extra because it's pretty wide and put it on the other side and cover the other part of the car just to make sure. But I got it pretty much wrapped up, I believe, as far as that goes. All I can do is hope. Yep, as far as I'm taking it on over through here, I got the tape rolled back like I want it. Um, all this right here is not being really colored. It's just getting prepped for clear. This through here maybe will be colored. I'm going to flick and blend that way with the color. The panel, definitely the sail panel, will definitely have the color. Up and through this part here will be colored, and then the rest cleared. And down through here cleared. That center section of the hood definitely will be 100% colored, then cleared. I did hit this spot right here moments ago to get it ready. Make sure it kind of blends in with the rest, even though I'll be putting a few coats of color on there. But it's this half here that I want to get covered. Definitely will be. So then I can move on and get more done. But it is that time, and tomorrow is another day. Absolutely. So until then, peace out. I just wanted to show a short clip of the coupe with the hood on it, complete, before I get into the 68 Roadrunner. I had to make some custom things. I had to reinforce the aluminum bracket that I made for that pulley to divert the belt from hitting the fender. It's a lot of adjusting, playing around with it, and then the same thing with the pulley on this side for the alternator to keep clear for the power steering pump itself, and got that all worked out. So we're going to be taking it for another test drive. Hopefully all goes well, we don't have any issues. But first we're going to be putting this bench seat back in there and moving along, and hopefully we get that electric fan and we get to change that out so that this way it'll run a little cooler in traffic. That's the goal. So I really think this turned out really nice. Actually, beyond nice. I think it turned out beautiful. Absolutely. I really believe that. I feel that. I see that. And she loves it as well. And very excited that she took it to this far. So I'm going to move now over to the 68 and get started on it. I did show it yesterday, last night. Now it's during the day, first thing in the morning. And I'm about to address bringing the plastic down. I'm going to take the blower through here, make sure there's no garbage around. I got to clean up around here. I'm not really sure when I'm going to apply the color, but I definitely have to take the rest of that plastic and lap it over this side and move things out of the way. I don't want nothing in the way. I don't want any dirt traps of any kind. Another thing I was surprised about, last night I went to go get some yellow tape. I needed the wider stuff, like 1.5 inch, 2 inch. And Home Depot doesn't sell yellow tape. They just sell that blue stuff. And there was a rack that has yellow in it, and it was 2 inches. I thought it was masking tape. It was made by 3M, and Puss in Boots advised me to buy it, so I bought it. And when I pulled it out and undid it, it seemed like it's almost like duct tape. I ended up using it. I think it'll be just fine. Hopefully, it's not a big deal. I did not want to use the blue tape. That stuff will not hold up when it comes to painting. I've tried it before, and it has failed. So that's just my experience. I'm no genius, but I definitely will use what works and avoid obviously what doesn't work. So that's the scoop on that. Actually, here it is. I'm gonna have to go to another place and get the yellow. See, it's shiny. When it was in the plastic, I just thought it was plastic that was shiny. And this is 2 inches, just under 2 inches. But I needed it for the effect of what I've created here, which was kind of the rolling it back, even though I hope that I don't reach that far with the clear. But in the event, you know, that's why that's there. So it's up at the top, up at the bottom. I won't need it anywhere else. And that'll be that. So until the next part, Puss in Boots says, what did she say? As she's licking her paws and washing her face, she says, stand by. All right, I'm back. As I'm going to show you, the entire car is now covered and ready. Well, the areas that need to be painted aren't covered, obviously, but the rest of it is, and she is ready. I just have to take care of one spot that I've been addressing the whole time to get it ready, and that's the spot on the hood. So I got some primer built up on there, and once it's really solid, and I'll finish sanding it, and that'll be that. And then I'll be able to shoot the color. I'll give it a long time for it to flash after I spray the color, and then shoot the clear. So hopefully all goes well, and that'll be that for this car. I don't think I'll have to do really much cut and buffing, but just going to hope for the best and go from there. But in the meantime, it is Wednesday evening, and that's going to end this segment for the 68 Plymouth Roadrunner on some cosmetic touch-up, whatever you want to call it, which is fine. I did have a couple of shots of the 33 Dodge 5-window coupe, and we've gotten a lot done on that car as far as the little things that needed to be touched up. It will be leaving again on Friday, and it'll be coming back a week later, just to do some final little stuff like solenoid poppers, a final buff on it, nothing major. But she was invited to an event that had to do with like really the old antique cars, and they called her up and asked her if she'd bring hers, and she said as long as it's ready, absolutely. And it'll be ready enough. We did a lot of test driving today on it, but you know, just to make sure all the little gremlins come out of it and be able to feed them and move them on. But back to the 68 Plymouth Roadrunner. That's going to end this segment of it, and the next one will be actually of shooting it, because like I said, it is Wednesday evening. Tomorrow morning, which will be Thursday, I will be posting this video, and hope you all will be checking it out. Maybe give me a thumbs up, make a comment, subscribe if you haven't already. But till the next segment, have yourself a good one. Thanks for watching.